The story of Mikal Mahdi is one of violence, tragedy, and ultimately, destruction. Long before he became a fugitive on a brutal crime spree, his life was already shaped by chaos. Sharif, the father of Mahdi, emerged from a challenging familial background characterized by a history of alcoholism. Despite not completing his high school education, he demonstrated commendable resilience by serving in the Marines, from which he received an honorable discharge. At the age of 27, Sharif entered into an arranged marriage with a 16-year-old girl from Richmond, and together they had 2 sons, including Mahdi. In 1986, Mahdi's mother departed from the family, presenting significant challenges for Sharif. Although he struggled to provide the necessary attention and support to his sons, he faced difficulties with law enforcement and other adversities. Nonetheless, Sharif consistently sought to fulfill his parental responsibilities by pursuing various odd jobs in an effort to care for his family. His determination to support his sons, despite encountering numerous obstacles, underscores his commitment to overcoming adversity. In 1991, Mahdi's father arranged for both Mahdi and his older brother, Salim, to reside with relatives. While Salim moved in with his aunt in Texas, Mahdi, at the age of 8, went to live with his paternal uncle and aunt in Maryland. He subsequently attended Scott's Branch Elementary School in Baltimore, where he completed the 2nd and 3rd grades. Although Mahdi exhibited some engagement as a student, he encountered disciplinary challenges related to his respect for authority and teachers. Additionally, his reading and writing skills were assessed as below grade level. School reports indicated that Mahdi struggled with low self-esteem and often faced difficulties in interpersonal relationships. Ultimately, he discontinued his education after the 3rd grade. However, by the age of 21, Mahdi successfully obtained his General Educational Development Certificate and completed his studies at a community college. Then Mahdi returned to reside with his father and brother in Virginia, where he initially engaged in breaking and entering in December 1997. Subsequently, Mahdi was convicted on 2 counts of grand larceny as well as 2 counts of breaking and entering, leading to his detention in a juvenile facility. Following his release, Mahdi resumed living with his mother in Richmond. In 2001, Mahdi was convicted of assaulting a police officer in Virginia and subsequently sentenced to 93 months of incarceration. Following his release in May 2004, he was placed on 15 years of probation. However, within 2 months of his release, Mahdi committed a series of 2 murders across 2 different states, both occurring outside of Virginia. On July 14, 2004, Mahdi, a resident of Virginia, commenced a series of criminal activities that extended across 4 states. He unlawfully appropriated a .380 caliber pistol from his neighbor, along with a set of Virginia license plates and a station wagon. Following these events, Mahdi departed Virginia and traveled to North Carolina. On July 15, Mahdi entered an Exxon gas station in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, armed with the .380 caliber pistol. He selected a can of beer from a cooler and placed it on the counter. When the store clerk, Christopher Jason Boggs, requested identification, Mahdi fatally shot him at point-blank range. He subsequently fired an additional shot into Boggs as he lay on the floor. Despite his efforts to access the store's cash register, Mahdi was unable to do so. He exited the premises with the can of beer and proceeded to South Carolina. On the morning of July 17, Mahdi approached Corey Pitts while he was stopped at a traffic light in downtown Columbia, South Carolina. Mahdi aimed a gun at Pitts, forced him out of his car, and stole Pitts' Ford Expedition. After the theft, Mahdi changed the Expedition's license plates to ones he had stolen in Virginia and drove southeast on Interstate 26. About 35 minutes later, Mahdi stopped at a Wilco Hess gas station in Calhoun County and tried to buy gas with a credit card. The pump rejected the card, and Mahdi spent around 45 minutes to an hour trying to fix the issue. Due to his suspicious actions, the store clerks called the police. Realizing that the clerks were suspicious of him, Mahdi left the Expedition at the gas station and ran away into the woods behind the station. About a quarter to half mile from the station, Mahdi came upon a farm owned by Captain James Myers, a 31-year veteran law enforcement officer and fireman. Mahdi broke into a workshop on the Myers property. Once inside the workshop, Mahdi watched television and examined Myers' gun collection. He found Myers' shotgun and used the tools in the shop to sew off the barrel and paint it black. Mahdi also took Myers' .22 caliber rifle and laid in wait for Myers. That day Myers had been at the beach celebrating the birthdays of his wife, sister, and daughter. Upon arriving at the farm, Myers stopped by the workshop, where he was confronted by Mahdi. He shot Myers 9 times with the .22 caliber rifle. Mahdi then poured diesel fuel on Myers' body and set the body on fire. Mahdi stole Myers' police-issued truck and left with Myers' shotgun, his .22 caliber rifle, and Myers' police-issued assault rifle. That evening, Amy Tripp Myers, who is a police officer and Myers' wife, became worried when he did not come home. She drove to the farm and found his burned body lying in a pool of blood in the workshop. She reported this to the police. Mahdi escaped to Florida, where police spotted him on July 21 driving Myers' truck. He fled from the police, abandoned the truck, and ran away on foot with an assault rifle. When the police cornered him, he dropped the rifle and was arrested. Similarly, the police in North Carolina issued a warrant of arrest for Mahdi after he was captured on CCTV to be the killer that robbed and shot Christopher Boggs. On December 8, 2006, after the trial, he sentenced to death. Apart from his criminal charges in South Carolina, he was also charged by the state authorities of North Carolina for the murder of Christopher Boggs. On December 2, 2009, during his 3rd year on death row, Mikal Mahdi and serial killer Quincy Allen planned to attack and kill a correctional officer at Lieber Correctional Institution. To carry out their plan, Mahdi and Allen took metal strips from air ducts and made makeshift knives. They then approached Officer Nathan Sasser and asked to visit the basketball court. After Sasser took them to the basketball court, Mahdi and Allen attacked him, stabbing him several times. They tried to escape by climbing over the fence. But their attempt failed when other prison staff used tear gas and rubber bullets to subdue them. Sasser successfully survived the stabbing incident and subsequently received treatment at the Medical University of South Carolina. However, he developed post-traumatic stress disorder and began experiencing anxiety attacks, which ultimately resulted in his dismissal from employment. Mahdi's death warrant was formally signed by the South Carolina Supreme Court, and his death sentence was scheduled to be carried out on April 11, 2025.